Anna's mornings always followed the same quiet pattern. She woke up before her alarm, made a cup of coffee, and stood by the kitchen window while the city slowly came to life. From her small apartment, she could see the building across the street clearly. It wasn't beautiful or modern, just another gray structure filled with strangers living separate lives. Still, it had become part of her routine, something familiar in a life that felt increasingly empty. Every weekday, at exactly 7, Anna noticed the same woman sitting by one particular window on the third floor. The woman never waved, never smiled, never even seemed aware she was being watched. She simply sat there, hands folded, eyes fixed on something inside the apartment. The scene repeated itself day after day, like a paused moment in time. At first, Anna barely paid attention. She was busy with her own thoughts, her unfinished plans, her growing sense of distance from everything that once felt meaningful. But over time, the woman across the street became a silent presence, a strange source of comfort. Knowing someone else was awake, still, and alone, made Anna feel less invisible. Anna never told anyone about the woman. It wasn't important, she told herself. Just a harmless observation during quiet mornings. Yet, as weeks passed, she realized she was adjusting her routine to make sure she didn't miss that moment. If she woke up late, she felt slightly unsettled. If her coffee took longer, she glanced at the clock, worried. She didn't know the woman's name, her age, or her story. Still, Anna felt connected to her in a way she couldn't explain. Maybe it was the silence they shared, or the way both of them seemed stuck in place, watching life move without them. As Anna finished her coffee and prepared for work, she gave the window one last look. The woman was there, as always, perfectly still. Anna turned away, unaware that this simple, quiet routine was about to change in a way she never expected. Over the following days, Anna began to notice small details she had previously ignored. The woman across the street always wore neutral colors, mostly gray or beige, as if trying to blend into the walls behind her. Her hair was pulled back in the same simple style every morning. Nothing about her appearance changed, and that consistency felt intentional. Anna started paying attention to the exact time the woman appeared. Never early, never late. Always 7:45. She would sit there for nearly 30 minutes, unmoving, before disappearing from view. Anna wondered what happened after that. Did the woman go to work? Did she return to bed? Or did she simply move to another room, unseen? The more Anna observed, the more questions formed in her mind. She imagined stories without realizing it. Maybe the woman was waiting for someone. Maybe she was sick. Maybe she was lonely in a way that felt familiar. Anna caught herself creating explanations during her commute, during meetings, even while cooking dinner at night. There was comfort in the predictability of it all. In a life full of uncertainty, the woman's presence felt solid, reliable, almost grounding. Anna didn't feel foolish for watching anymore. Instead, she felt curious, engaged in a silent connection that required no words. One morning, Anna noticed something new. The woman's hands were shaking slightly. It was subtle, barely visible from across the street, but Anna was sure of it. The woman looked thinner too, her face more tired than before. The image stayed with Anna long after she left for work. That day, Anna realized she was no longer just observing. She was caring. The woman across the street had slowly entered her emotional space without permission. And although Anna didn't fully understand why, she felt a growing sense of responsibility, as if ignoring her now would mean losing something important. The next morning, Anna woke up with an unfamiliar feeling of anticipation. She hurried to the window, coffee forgotten, eyes searching the familiar frame across the street. The window was empty. Anna stood there longer than usual, blinking, convinced she had misjudged the time. She checked her phone. 7:40. The woman should have been there. She waited, holding her breath, expecting movement, a shadow, anything. Nothing happened. At first, Anna told herself it meant nothing. People change routines. People get sick. People leave. Still, a quiet unease settled in her chest, heavy and uncomfortable. She stayed by the window until 8:15, long after she should have left for work. All day, Anna struggled to focus. Her thoughts returned again and again to that empty window. During lunch, she found herself staring at buildings across the street, imagining silhouettes behind curtains. She felt foolish, yet unable to stop. The next morning, Anna woke up even earlier. She stood by the window before 7:30, watching as the city slowly woke up. 7:45 came and went. The chair by the window across the street remained empty. A tight feeling spread through her chest. This was no longer a coincidence. The absence felt loud, almost aggressive, like a broken promise. Anna realized how deeply the routine had anchored her. Without it, her mornings felt unstable. She started scanning the building more carefully, looking at other windows, hoping to see movement. Nothing seemed unusual, yet everything felt wrong. The silence on the third-floor window was unbearable. Anna felt a strange sense of loss. She had never spoken to the woman, never exchanged a look, yet her disappearance affected Anna more than she wanted to admit. It was as if someone had quietly removed a part of her life without warning. That evening, Anna stood by her window long after sunset, staring at the darkened building across the street. The window remained closed, cold, distant. For the first time, Anna allowed herself to wonder if something had happened. And with that thought came fear. By the third day, Anna could no longer ignore the urge to know more. On her way to work, she crossed the street and stood in front of the building she had observed for so long. Up close, it felt unfamiliar, almost intimidating. She hesitated before entering, unsure of what she was even looking for. Anna told herself she was just curious, nothing more. Inside, the hallway smelled faintly of cleaning products and old carpet. She glanced at the mailboxes, searching for names she didn't recognize. Anna felt intrusive, like she was stepping into someone else's private world. Still, she couldn't turn back. She asked the doorman casually if anyone from the third floor had moved recently. He shrugged, uninterested, and said he wasn't sure. Disappointed, Anna left the building, feeling foolish and exposed. Yet the unanswered questions followed her throughout the day. That night, she dreamed of empty rooms and open windows. The following morning, Anna returned to her routine, standing by her window at 7:45. The window across the street remained empty. The absence felt heavier now, filled with meaning. Later that afternoon, Anna noticed an older woman sitting on a bench outside the building. Gathering her courage, Anna approached her and mentioned the third-floor apartment. The woman paused, then sighed softly. She lost someone, the woman said quietly. Her husband. A few months ago. Anna's heart sank. The words settled slowly, painfully. The older woman explained that the woman across the street had barely left her apartment since then. Sitting by the window had been her way of coping. Anna thanked her and walked away, her thoughts racing. The image of the woman sitting silently by the window suddenly made sense. It wasn't emptiness Anna had been seeing. It was grief. That night, Anna stood by her window again. But this time, she wasn't just looking across the street. She was looking inward. Anna spent the next few days unusually quiet. The discovery lingered in her mind, reshaping every memory of those mornings. The woman's stillness, her fixed gaze, her silence, none of it had been random. Anna recognized something painfully familiar in that behavior. She, too, had learned how to exist without fully living. After her own relationship ended years ago, she had slowly built walls around herself, mistaking routine for stability. Standing by the window now felt different. It was no longer about observing someone else. It was about confronting her own reflection. Anna realized how much comfort she had found in watching someone who mirrored her emotional state. She thought about the conversations she never had, the risks she never took, the life she postponed. The woman across the street had become a symbol of everything Anna avoided addressing within herself. Mornings grew quieter, heavier. Without the woman at the window, Anna felt exposed. The silence forced her to sit with her thoughts instead of escaping into observation. One evening, Anna wrote in her journal for the first time in months. She admitted her fear of change, her fear of connection, and her fear of loss. The words came slowly, but honestly. She realized that grief wasn't always loud. Sometimes, it sat quietly by a window, watching time pass. As days turned into a week, Anna felt something shift. The woman's absence no longer filled her with anxiety, but with understanding. She didn't know if the woman would ever return to that window, but she knew the impact she had already made. And for the first time in a long while, Anna considered the possibility that she didn't want to remain still anymore. A week later, Anna noticed movement in the building across the street. The curtains on the third floor shifted slightly. Her heart raced as she watched carefully. The woman appeared again, thinner than before, her posture weaker. She didn't sit this time. She stood by the window, holding the frame as if it were the only thing keeping her upright. Anna felt a wave of emotion she hadn't expected. Relief mixed with sadness. The woman stayed only a few minutes before stepping away, but that brief moment felt significant. Later that day, Anna crossed the street once more. This time, she wasn't looking for answers. She was looking for connection. She carried a small plant in her hands, unsure if the gesture was appropriate, but knowing she had to try. The woman opened the door slowly. Up close, her eyes looked tired but kind. Anna introduced herself, her voice shaking slightly. She offered the plant without explanation. The woman smiled faintly and invited her inside. The apartment was quiet, filled with memories. Photos, half-packed boxers, and untouched furniture told a story of loss without words. They talked gently. The woman shared her grief, her loneliness, and her mornings by the window. Anna listened, fully present. She shared parts of her own story too, surprised by how natural it felt. When Anna left, the city felt different. Lighter. The distance between windows no longer seemed so wide. In the days that followed, Anna and the woman exchanged small gestures, a wave, a smile, sometimes a short conversation in the hallway. The silent connection had transformed into something real. Anna realized that the woman had never been a mystery to solve. She had been a mirror, reflecting Anna's own emotional stillness back at her. With that understanding came clarity. Anna began making small changes. She accepted invitations she once declined. She walked different streets. She allowed herself to feel present again. The woman across the street slowly returned to her routine, but with subtle differences. Sometimes she stood, sometimes she smiled. The window was no longer a place of waiting, but of transition. Anna no longer felt the need to observe from a distance. She had learned that connection didn't require perfection, only courage. Each morning, when Anna stood by her window, she felt gratitude instead of emptiness. The silence no longer frightened her. She had finally seen herself clearly. One morning, Anna didn't stand by the window at all. Instead, she put on her shoes and stepped outside earlier than usual. The city greeted her with unfamiliar sounds and possibilities. As she walked, she glanced at the building across the street. The window was there, unchanged. But Anna understood now that some chapters are meant to close quietly. Later that day, she met the woman for coffee. They talked about small things, ordinary things. Life felt lighter in those moments. That evening, Anna returned home feeling content. She stood by her window briefly, not to search, but to acknowledge what had been. The woman across the street waved. Anna waved back. Then she turned away, ready for what came next.